Hi, and welcome back to this Monday edition of Focal Point AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. Talking about end of the day, the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. One last thing before we move on to health care. Again, encouraging you to call your senators. They're going to vote on this thing in about 2 hours. So if it's going to be stopped in the Senate, it has to be today because they got enough votes to pass this thing if they can get 60 votes for cloture. So the message to your senators today is vote no on cloture on ENDA. That's the message. Urgent appeal to vote no on cloture on ENDA. If they cannot get the 60 votes, this thing dies in the Senate. Now, before we move on to, and the number there is 202-224-3121, 202-224-3121. And unless you think I'm exaggerating on the dangers of the sexual orientation business, I'm looking at a piece here from Harvard Medical School. This is Harvard Medical School. This is the top of the pyramid. And they, in this piece I'm looking at, on their website, harvard.edu, that's where I'm looking at it, it multiple times refers to pedophilia as a sexual orientation. This is from 2010. So Harvard has already decided that pedophilia is a sexual orientation. There it is. Pedophilia is a sexual orientation and unlikely to change. Bottom of page 1, pedophilia is a distinct sexual orientation. So Harvard has already said this is a sexual orientation. And remember, what ENDA protects is sexual orientation. There's no definition there. There's no limitations about what sexual orientation. Everybody thinks of homosexuality and lesbianism, but there's no reason why it ought to be limited to that. When you got Harvard saying, hey, as long as you're in the business of protecting sexual orientations, here's another one that you ought to be sure that you take care of. So the number to call your senators, no on ENDA, 202-224-3121. You want to call the program. Join the conversation, 888-589-8840. Now, I mentioned in the first hour, this is clip one, where I mentioned in the first hour that one of the striking things about President Obama is the number of times he said, look, I found out about it on the news just like you did, which to me is, I mean, I don't know what to make of that. If he's telling the truth, which I don't believe he is, but if he's telling the truth, then that means this guy is completely out of touch with reality. He's out of touch with life. He's out of touch with American culture. He's out of touch with American society. He's out of touch with things that are going on in his own administration. If he doesn't find out about this stuff that's being done by his administration, he doesn't find out about it till he reads about it in the news, like the NSA spying on journalists, the IRS going after the Tea Party. He's saying, look, I found out about that in the news just like you did. Here's a montage. This ran on MSNBC on Friday morning, I believe, and Mika Brzezinski was just mortified when this thing ran. It's just a montage of what the president himself said or his people about when he learned about very, very important developments. Let's listen.
I heard on the news about this story that Fast and Furious, where allegedly guns were being run into Mexico.
Do you know when he first knew that there was a problem?
Well, I think it became clear fairly early on, the first couple of days, that...
So not before that, though? Not before October 1st?
When did you first learn that the IRS was targeting conservative political groups?
I first learned about it from the same news reports that I think most people learned about.
When did the president find out about the Department of Justice's subpoenas for the Associated Press?
Yesterday.
And...
I mean, let me just be clear. We don't have any independent knowledge of that. He found out about the news reports yesterday on the road.
I certainly did not know anything about the IG report before the IG report had been leaked through press.
Just a quick question about Solyndra. Has the president been briefed about what has developed on that?
I think he's probably read some news accounts of it. I'm not aware that he's been briefed.
Man, that is our clueless president. He doesn't know anything about anything. You and I, ladies and gentlemen, are more informed about what's going on in America than the president of the United States. You and I are more informed about what his own administration is doing than he is. And he's the guy that's supposed to be in charge of the place. Now, another issue that's come up is this whole business of the president saying, if you like your plan, you can keep it. Now, the New York Magazine, this is the magazine, that real Tony, upper crust, elite publication in Manhattan. They're the ones that did that hit piece on me last year. But they put together they compiled a montage of President Obama saying this. So these are words that are coming out of the president's own mouth, and listen to the promise that he makes over and over and over again to you and me, to the American people. Let's listen.
I said this once or twice, but it bears repeating. And you can keep your plan if you are satisfied with it. If you like the plan you have, you can keep it. If you like your plan and you like your doctor, you won't have to do a thing. You keep your plan. If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. If you've got health insurance, you can keep it. If you like your health care plan, you will keep your plan. If you've got health insurance, you like your doctor, you like your plan, you can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan. If you have insurance that you like, then you will be able to keep that insurance. If you like your doctor or health care plan, you can keep it. If you like your health care plan, you can keep your health care plan. If you like your health care plan, you can keep your health care plan. If you like your private health insurance plan, you can keep your plan. If you like your health care plan, you can keep your health care plan. If you like your private health insurance plan, you can keep it. If you want to keep the health insurance you got, you can keep it. If you like the insurance plan you have now, you can keep it. And if you like your insurance plan, you will keep it. So if you like your plan, you can keep your plan. If you like your plan, keep your plan. If you like your current insurance, you will keep your current insurance. If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. If you're happy with what you got, nobody's changing it.
So that's the president. I think 24 times he says, if you like your plan, you can keep it. It's not qualified. He doesn't say, hey, you can keep your plan if your insurance company doesn't monkey with it. You can keep your plan if we don't impose the kind of mandates that are going to require your insurance company to change your policy. He just said flatly, you like it, you can keep it. That's a total bald-faced lie. I got a story here. Let me see if I can grab this thing because it's very, very striking. This is from Daily Caller. Listen to this. If Obamacare is fully implemented, 68% of Americans with private health insurance will not be able to keep their plan. This is according to healthcare economist Christopher Conover. Conover is a research scholar in the Center for Health Policy and Inequalities Research at Duke University. So this guy's not a lightweight. He's at Duke. He's an adjunct scholar at the American Enterprise Institute. Here's what he says. This is a quote from him. Bottom line, of the 189 million Americans with private insurance coverage, I estimate that if Obamacare is fully implemented, at least 129 million will not be able to keep their previous health care plan either because they already have lost or will lose that coverage by the end of 2014. So 24 times, Barack Obama told the American people, you like your insurance plan, you can keep it. Now we find out that not only is that not true, but it is not true to a grotesquely gigantic scale, galactic scale. 129 million Americans, in fact, are going to wind up losing their insurance, whether they like it or not. Story here, 150,000 people in Oregon are going to lose their plans because of the health care law. They don't realize health insurance companies do not want to cancel policies. Why? Because that's their only source of income. Where does their money come from? It comes from people who buy insurance from them. Do they have any interest in canceling those policies without good reason? Of course they don't. So they're in the business of, they're being forced to cancel these policies, not because they want to, but because they are being ordered to by a fascist government. And again, I use the word fascist very deliberately. That's not an exaggeration. That's just an accurate term, because what fascism is, it's different than socialism. In fascism, you are allowed to own your own private business, but the government tells you how to run it. That is fascism. That's what's going on here with the takeover of healthcare. This is fascism because, yeah, you still have Blue Cross Blue Shield out there. You still have United Healthcare out there. They still, at least on paper, own their own insurance companies, but the government is telling them how to run it. That is fascism. Now let's grab clip 3. This is Zeke Emanuel. He is the brother of Rahm Emanuel. He's the architect of Obamacare. He's on with Chris Wallace. They have a spirited debate, and here's what Zeke Emanuel says in response to Chris Wallace. Let's listen.
You also agree that if they don't sign up, and I agree, this is early, but if they don't sign up, that you agree that it's going to be very bad for the system, that in fact the premiums are going to go up if the young, healthy people don't sign up. You said this in an article.
Look, I agree with that point. There is a potential death spiral if we don't get enough people signed up. But by the way, it's not in just 6 months. We have a couple of years to get this thing up and running and working.
Now, the thing I want you to catch there, he says, we've got a couple of years to get this thing up and running. Let's play the second bite. Go.
All the problems with the website. More than a dozen Senate Democrats, not Republicans, Democrats, are now saying put off the penalties. Even delay, in one case, Manchin is saying delay the entire individual mandate a year. And we heard this week from Max Baucus, the senator who helped write Obamacare. Here he is.
Maybe we should start thinking about delaying the penalties. But it's not right to penalize people for mistakes that the government's made because the exchange isn't working.
Should the penalties be delayed beyond March 31st?
No, they should not be delayed beyond March 31st. If the website's working by November 30th, people then will have a full 4 months to sign up, and that's no reason to delay them. And I don't think you can prejudge now. And if it's working adequately by November 30th, that's a whole new question. But it's way premature to talk about it. I think it's going to be up and running by November 30th. And then, if it's not, we can have a renewed debate. But to call for it now, 30 days before it's even debuted, I think is a mistake.
He says the debut is November 30th. That's when it's going to be rolled out. That's a lie. The debut was October 1. Redefining the calendar. Back in 2, Focal Point AFR Talk.